The message came on a Tuesday. Dr. Alan Wright almost missed it among the usual space noise his receivers picked up daily. But there it was, a pattern too regular, too precise to be natural. After 20 years at NASA searching the stars, he finally had something real. He called his colleague, Dr. Susan Garcia, at 3 a.m. "Susan, I need you here now," he said, his voice shaking with excitement. "Alan, do you know what time it is?" She mumbled. "I found something. Not background radiation, not a pulsar. A message." 40 minutes later, Susan stood next to Alan in the dim light of the lab, staring at the screen. "It repeats every 12 minutes, Alan explained. "The same sequence." Susan rubbed her eyes. As the top linguist on NASA's SETI project, she had prepared for this moment her entire career. "Have you told anyone else?" "Just you." "I wanted to be sure." For the next 3 days, they barely left the lab. The pattern was complex, but clearly artificial. On the 4th day, they began to understand pieces of it. On the 5th, they realized it contained images. By the end of the week, they had their first translation. "It's a warning," Susan said to the emergency meeting of government officials and military personnel. "The message is from a species called the Zarkonians. They say another alien race, the Drethul, is heading toward our solar system." Major John Bennett frowned from across the table. "And we're supposed to just believe them." "The message includes information about both species and offers an alliance against this common threat," Alan added. "How convenient," Bennett said. "They show up warning about some boogeymen and expect us to welcome them with open arms." The president looked tired. "What's your assessment, Dr. Garcia?" "The message appears genuine. They've included details about their civilization that would be pointless to fake. They're offering to share some technology in exchange for our help. Or they could be softening us up for their own invasion," Bennett countered. For weeks, world leaders debated. Military forces went on high alert. Religious leaders called for calm. The stock market crashed, then recovered. Then the Zarkonian ships appeared. There were 7 of them, massive vessels that took position just beyond the moon's orbit. They made no aggressive moves. They simply waited. "They're requesting a meeting," Susan told the emergency council. "They want to send representatives to Earth." "Absolutely not," Bennett said. "We invite them to our home planet." Madness. "They've been in orbit for 10 days and haven't shown any hostility," Alan pointed out. "If they wanted to attack, why wait?" Finally, a compromise was reached. The meeting would happen at a remote military base in Nevada. Security would be extreme. The day the Zarkonian shuttle landed, the world held its breath. Billions watched on screens as the sleek silver craft descended through Earth's atmosphere. The alien that emerged wasn't what anyone expected. Standing just over 5 feet tall, Ambassador Krultox had blue-gray skin and 4 arms, but his face was almost human-like, with large black eyes that blinked slowly as he surveyed the welcoming committee. "We come in peace and necessity," the translator relayed his words. "The Drethul destroyed 3 of our colony worlds already. They will not stop at yours." Over the next few days, the Zarkonians shared star charts showing the Drethul advance. They offered technical knowledge as a gesture of good faith. "The Drethul are less than 2 of your Earth years away," Krultox explained. "Together, we stand a chance. Alone, we will both fall." Most of Earth's leaders began to trust the Zarkonians. Images of their destroyed worlds, evidence of their conflict with the Drethul, all seemed to check out. Only Major Bennett and a few others remained suspicious. "Why us?" he asked in private meetings. Of all the planets they could seek help from, why Earth? "We're technologically behind them. What do we have that they need so badly?" No one could answer his question. Not yet. 3 weeks after the Zarkonians arrived, Earth had changed. People walked the streets looking up more often. Sales of telescopes hit record numbers. Children played with toy aliens instead of dinosaurs. The Zarkonians shared some technology. They helped improve Earth's satellite systems and offered medical knowledge that cured 2 previously untreatable diseases. World leaders started to relax. Maybe this alliance would work. Captain Lisa Donovan didn't trust them. As the military officer assigned to monitor communications between Earth and the alien ships, she noticed small problems. The Zarkonians would say one thing in public meetings, but something slightly different in ship-to-ship messages. They're hiding something, she told Kevin Powell, an intelligence analyst who helped her track alien communications. Everyone hides something, Kevin replied. But he looked worried too. Have you seen these new encrypted channels they're using? Lisa nodded. Started 3 days ago, right after we agreed to send a team to their homeworld. The Earth delegation would include scientists, diplomats, and military personnel. They would visit the Zarkonian planet to formalize the alliance against the Dreadful. Major Bennett fought to be included in the group. Someone needs to watch them closely, he insisted. The day before the delegation was set to leave, news broke that shocked the world. In 12 major cities, children had disappeared. Not many, 3 or 4 from each city, but enough to cause panic. Police found no evidence, no signs of struggle. The children simply vanished from parks, schools, and backyards. Lisa was reviewing security footage from London when she saw it. A brief shimmer in the air near a playground. Then a child was gone. She had seen that shimmer before, when Zarkonian shuttles activated their cloaking technology. She called Kevin immediately. It's them. They're taking our kids. Why would they do that? It makes no sense. I don't know yet, Lisa said, but I'm going to find out. She took her evidence to Major Bennett, who was leaving the next morning with the Earth delegation. He studied the footage carefully. I knew they couldn't be trusted, he said quietly. But this, taking children, what could they want with them? That's what you need to find out, Lisa told him. We can't confront them yet. We need proof. That night, another 20 children disappeared worldwide. The next morning, the Earth delegation boarded the Zarkonian shuttle. As Bennett stepped inside, Ambassador Kreltox greeted him warmly. Major Bennett, I'm pleased you will see our homeworld, the alien said. Bennett forced a smile. I look forward to learning all your secrets. The shuttle doors closed. As it lifted off, Bennett wondered if he would ever see Earth again, and what would happen to the missing children if he failed. The journey to the Zarkonian homeworld took 8 days. During that time, Major Bennett watched and listened. He made friends with a young diplomat named Henry Martinez, who shared his concerns about the aliens. Something feels off, Henry whispered on the 6th day. I've seen the ship maps they gave us, but I found a hallway yesterday that isn't on any of them. Bennett nodded. Can you show me? That night, while most of the Earth delegation slept, Bennett and Martinez explored the unmarked hallway. It led deep into the ship, to a section with strange pink lighting and air that smelled like cinnamon. Listen, Martinez said suddenly. Bennett heard it too. Soft crying. Human crying. They followed the sound to a large door with alien symbols. Martinez, who had been studying the Zarkonian language, read them with growing horror. It says resource storage, he told Bennett. Using an access card they had copied from a careless Zarkonian crew member, they opened the door. Inside, they found rows of clear pods, each holding a sleeping child. Earth's missing children. There must be at least 100 here, Bennett whispered, fighting to control his anger. Martinez checked a nearby computer terminal. There are more on other ships, almost 300 total. A child stirred in one of the pods, a small boy about 6 years old. His eyes opened, seeing the humans. He pressed his hands against the clear wall, his face full of hope. Bennett wanted to free him immediately, but knew they couldn't. Not yet. They needed a plan to save all the children. They quietly left, making sure the door locked behind them. Back in Bennett's cabin, they found communications officer Samantha Kelly waiting for them. I've decoded some of their messages, she said without greeting. The Zarkonians aren't using our children as hostages against us. They're planning to trade them to the Dreadful. Trade them? For what? Martines asked. Peace, Kelly explained. The Dreadful collect specimens from intelligent species. They're not coming to invade Earth. They're coming to collect humans for study. The Zarkonians are hoping to satisfy them with the children they've already taken. Bennett felt sick. We need to contact Earth. We can't, Kelly said. They're blocking all unauthorized transmissions. We're on our own until we reach their homeworld tomorrow. Bennett looked at his two companions. Then we have until tomorrow to figure out how to save those children and warn Earth. The Zarkonians have lied about everything, Martine said. The Alliance, the dreadful threat. No, Kelly interrupted. That's the worst part. The dreadful are real and they are coming. But they're not the monsters the Zarkonians described. They're collectors, not conquerors. Bennett's jaw tightened. Either way, they're not getting our children. Bennett, Martinez, and Kelly spent the night planning. They needed help, so they carefully told 5 other humans they trusted. One was Navy SEAL Danny Rodriguez, who had smuggled a small weapon on board despite the Zarkonians' rules against it. We need to get a message to Earth, Bennett said. And we need to free the children. I can help with the message, said Olivia Harris, an engineer who understood the ship's systems. I think I can bypass their blocks if I access the main communication room. How do we get past the guards? Martines asked. Rodriguez smiled. Leave that to me. They divided into 2 teams. Harris and Rodriguez would send the warning to Earth. Bennett, Martinez, and Kelly would prepare to move the children. We have to time this perfectly, Bennett said. Once they know we've discovered their plan, they'll lock everything down. Early the next morning, as the ship approached the Zarkonian homeworld, Rodriguez created a distraction in the dining area. While guards rushed to handle it, Harris slipped into the communication center. She worked quickly, bypassing security protocols. Come on, she whispered as the system fought against her. Finally, she broke through. Her message to Earth was brief but clear. Zarkonians kidnapped Earth children, planning to trade to Dreadful. Nearly 300 taken. Ship arriving at Zarkonian homeworld. Need immediate help. She added the ship's coordinates and sent the message. Alarms began blaring immediately. They know, she told Rodriguez as they ran from the room. Across the ship, Bennett heard the alarms. Now, he told Martinez and Kelly. They rushed to the storage room with the children. A single guard stood at the door. Martines approached him, pretending to be lost. When the guard turned to point him in the right direction, Kelly struck him from behind with a metal tray. The guard collapsed. Inside, the children were still in their pods. Some were awake now, watching with frightened eyes. We need to get them out, Bennett said. Kelly examined the control panel. I think I can open the pods, but then what? We can't escape with hundreds of children. We don't need to escape yet, Bennett replied. We just need to keep the children safe until Earth can respond. Harris got the message through. A voice came over the ship's speakers. It was Ambassador Krultox, and he sounded angry. Humans of Earth, you have violated our trust. Return to your quarters immediately. This is not your concern. Bennett activated the room's communication panel. You took our children, he shouted. That makes it our concern. Outside, they could hear footsteps running toward them. The Zarkonians were coming. Get ready, Bennett told his team. This is where it gets hard. The door to the storage room slid open. 10 Zarkonian guards rushed in, weapons raised. Behind them stood a tall alien with silver markings on his blue skin. He wore an elaborate uniform with symbols of rank. I am General Vector, the alien announced. You will step away from those pods immediately. Bennett stood his ground. These are our children. You stole them. Vector's large eyes narrowed. They are necessary. The Dreadful will accept them as payment and leave your planet alone. It is a small price for your world's safety. Not to us, Bennett said. Humans don't trade their children. Not for anything. Rodriguez appeared at the doorway behind the Zarkonians. He had managed to free the other Earth delegates, and now 20 humans stood against the aliens. Vector seemed annoyed but not worried. "You are outnumbered. Our ship carries hundreds of soldiers." "Maybe," said Olivia Harris, who had been working quietly at a control panel. But not for long. She pressed a final button, and the lights flickered. "I just sent a message to every ship in your fleet, telling them exactly what you've been doing." Vectar's face changed. "You couldn't have. The systems are locked." Harris smiled. "Not anymore." Suddenly, a new alarm sounded. The ship shook slightly. "What's happening?" Martins asked. A Zarkonian crew member rushed in. "General, Earth vessels are approaching. Many of them." Vectar looked shocked. "Impossible. Humans don't have ships that can reach us here." The crew members seemed frightened. "They're using our own technology against us. They must have been studying the ships we left in Earth orbit." On the viewing screen, they could see Earth ships approaching. They were clearly modified human vessels with Zarkonian technology attached to them. "You had 8 days to study our tech," Vectar said, his voice cold. "How did your people build these so quickly?" "You shouldn't have taken our children," Bennett replied simply. A voice came through the ship's communication system. It was Commander Grace Wilson from Earth. "Zarkonian vessel, this is Earth Defense Force. We know you have our children. Return them immediately or face the consequences." Vectar turned to his crew. "Prepare for battle." "Wait," Harris said. "Look." The screen showed more Earth ships appearing. Dozens, then hundreds. Some were military vessels. Others were civilian ships converted for battle. "How is this possible?" Vectar whispered. "You don't have this many space-worthy vessels." Bennett looked the alien general directly in the eyes. "When you took our children, you united humanity like nothing else could. Every country, every person worked together. You have no idea what humans are capable of when our children are in danger." For the first time, Vectar looked afraid. General Vectar ordered his soldiers to take defensive positions. The Zarkonians still believed they had the advantage with their superior technology. "Your ships are impressive, but they cannot match ours," Vectar told Bennett. A loud explosion shook the ship. On the screen, they watched as an Earth vessel fired some kind of energy weapon. It cut through a Zarkonian cruiser's shields like they weren't even there. "How?" Vectar demanded. "Those are advanced weapons." Harris smiled. "Did you think we wouldn't examine every inch of the ships you left in our orbit? Humans are very good at figuring things out." Another explosion rocked the ship. This time, part of the hull was damaged. Warning lights flashed everywhere. "General, our shields are failing," a Zarkonian officer reported. "Their weapons are specifically designed to target our weak points." "Impossible," Vectar whispered. Bennett stepped forward. "Last chance. Release our children and retreat." Over the communication system, Commander Wilson's voice was firm. "You have 5 minutes to begin transfer of all human children, or we will disable your vessels one by one." Vectar looked at the human ships surrounding his fleet. There were hundreds of them now, a mix of military craft and civilian ships modified for battle. Each one bristled with weapons copied from Zarkonian technology, but improved upon in ways he didn't understand. "Your species couldn't have done this," Vectar said, his voice shaking. "Not in 8 days. We started the moment the first child disappeared," Bennett explained. "Every scientist, engineer, and pilot on Earth worked together. When you took our children, you gave us something more powerful than any technology, our reason to fight together." Vectar looked at his officers, then back at the humans. "Begin release of the human children," he ordered finally. As the pods were prepared for transfer, Vectar received a message from the Zarkonian High Command. They had been monitoring the situation and were furious. "You failed," the High Commander told Vectar. "The Drethul will still come, and now we have a new enemy." "We didn't understand," Vectar replied. These humans, they are unlike any species we've encountered. Explain, demanded the High Commander. Vector watched as the human children were carefully moved to Earth vessels, with Bennett personally checking each transfer. You took their children. We are doomed, Vector told his leader. I've seen hundreds of worlds, but never one that would build a fleet in days just to save a few hundred offspring. They don't think like us. Their children aren't resources, they're their future. And they will destroy anyone who threatens that future. The High Commander was silent for a long moment. Retreat, he ordered finally. Retreat immediately. 6 months passed since the confrontation with the Zarkonians. Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined before first contact. The children were all safely home now. They had been examined by doctors and found to be healthy. The Zarkonians had kept them in a deep sleep, so most had no memory of their time as captives. Earth's new fleet remained in orbit, constantly training and improving. Scientists continued to study the captured Zarkonian ship, learning more every day. Countries that had once been enemies now worked together, united by the shared experience of nearly losing their children. Major Bennett, now Colonel Bennett, led Earth's new Space Defense Command. Lissa Donovan headed intelligence operations. Danny Rodriguez trained Earth's first Space Marines. They all knew the Drefthul were still coming. How long do we have? Bennett asked during a meeting with the world's leaders. 3 weeks, based on Zarkonian data, Olivia Harris answered. She had become the lead scientist studying alien technology. No one had seen the Zarkonians since their retreat. They had simply disappeared, leaving behind only the remains of their damaged ships. Are we ready? Someone asked. Bennett nodded, more ready than anyone could expect. When the Drefthul finally arrived, they came in a single massive ship. It dwarfed anything humans or Zarkonians had built. Attention Earth vessel. The Drefthul commander's message was translated through systems developed from Zarkonian technology. We have come to collect specimens. Prepare to be boarded. Bennett responded from the bridge of Earth's flagship. We respectfully decline. Earth is not open for collection. There was a pause before the Drefthul responded. This is unusual. Species typically understand the benefits of our protection. The Zarkonians assured us you would comply. The Zarkonians don't speak for Earth, Bennett replied. The Drefthul ship scanned Earth's fleet, noting the mixture of human and alien technology. Interesting, the Drefthul finally said. You have advanced quickly. Most species require decades to adapt such technology. Paul Carter, Earth's new diplomatic officer, stepped forward. We can be very motivated when necessary. The Zarkonians attempted to take some of our children, Bennett added. We responded accordingly. There was a very long silence from the Drefthul ship. Finally, the commander spoke again. They took your offspring without consent, and you recovered them. All of them, Bennett confirmed. Another pause. We will withdraw to discuss this development. Species that protect their young with such determination are rare and worthy of respect. We may return to offer proper alliance instead of collection. As the massive ship departed, Bennett turned to his crew. They'll be back, one way or another. But now they know, Earth is not an easy target. Far below, a young girl named Emma Harrison looked up at the night sky. 6 months ago, she had been one of the taken children. Now she watched the stars not with fear, but with wonder and determination. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and she would be part of that journey.